Okay, abusuya NDC primary se course so ewo Ayawaso East. Ye de ho nsem bebre abremo. Ye di kan ba bebreki majority o ma call for cancellation of NDC primary se course so ewo Ayawaso East. Gossip politics so unsubscribe ya subscribe like na san so share ma afofron so ensa into me enkem na hit on the notification bell so na be any update be dropping on so onsa ebetumi aka Baba Jamal abusuya ono enewe ne NDC primary se course ewo Ayawaso East na after say already we no abusuya OSP nsa asonimu OSP akole anase wasemono for investigations be a the efa NDC primary a course for anase over good vote buying be a course any some assault and attack on other candidates and call for OSP massive investigations against NDC Baba Jamala or Rene Ayawaso East elections are a course and rather antino sisi Baba Jamal akwako pimu ewo OSP office intino OSP ne letter ene ne communicator or the babo ntino ena ya project the ato your screen no enchen de amano mama me read the second paragraph of the OSP ne communication and as the letter or the babo on 7th February 2026 the OSP commenced real-time investigation in respect of the National Democratic Congress NDC parliamentary primaries at the Ayawaso East constituency. Second paragraph, the investigation focused on allegations of vote buying, vote selling, and the sources of funding of the alleged corrupt acts. Abusuya Baba Jamal and ne honsem akwako piemu ewo OSP akache abusuya we ne ensema course mama yanko na yanko tie ensem bi nso a course efa vote buying honsem TV3 credit goes to TV3 omo na hse sa enkomo we omo twetwen sa enkomo we mama yanko na yanko tie ensema course medamase.
Right, because at the just ended NDC Ayawaso internal primaries, Baba Jamal defied pre-election poll predictions to win the parliamentary primary. He spoke with Joseph Armstrong after the official declaration of results and urged pollsters to improve their accuracy and methodology going forward.
This constituency is an NDC stronghold. Yes. So what I would say is that they should just come and make the game interesting. But not to dream.
But the MPP, they didn't hold the primaries. They've appointed somebody to represent them. Yes. I'm sure you've heard.
Yes.
You've seen the candidates.
Yes. He's my friend.
He's your friend.
So
is he somebody you can easily beat, or you see him as a lion?
Oh, as I said, this is an NDC stronghold. So don't expect any serious fight from them, even though they will try. But I can assure you that inshallah will come out.
You don't see it as any fight at all?
Please, any election is an election. Every election is even if you are contesting in the weakest candidate, it's an election.
But most of the polls didn't go in your favor. How did you do this?
Because those who did the polls, I don't know how they did those polls. Because when I hear the polls, I wonder how they did their polls. So, but that's what they were saying. But Allah.
Do you have a message for them, the posters?
Oh, just to say that maybe next time they have to do a better work. That's all.
Your final words.
Thanks to everybody, thanks to Almighty, and thanks to Allah for giving me this victory.
Thank you so much, Baba Jamal, and congratulations to you once again.
Well, some supporters of the NDC in the Ayawaso East constituency, they have expressed disappointment in the outcome of the just ended NDC primaries, vowing not to support their candidate. Others are also calling for unity ahead of the by-election in March. Joseph Armstrong has more on this report.
The elections over here are the Ayawaso East, with Baba Jamal declared winner of the internal election here. Unfortunately, the supporters you see here belong to the woman, Hajia Adam. She didn't win. She came second. Whilst many of her supporters says they are going to support Baba Jamal, others says they will not support him. But what will make them vote for their newly elected candidates? Honorable Baba Jamal. We'll be speaking to many of them. Let's take a listen.
Well, I would say, alhamdulillah, it's normal. It's, this is an internal election. This is not any NDC MPP. We are all under one umbrella. So far as the delegate decide who they give their votes for, what can you do? I mean, they are rational people. Delegates know what they are doing. And if you look from afar, Baba Jamal, Honorable Baba Jamal, his vote didn't change. That's the same figure that he has been getting. But the chairman of the constituency, which is Alabi, we call him Chairman Killer, he was the one who pulled out our vote to pave way for Baba Jamal.
Yes, we are calling for unity. Yes, NDC, anything is NDC. Who comes, it's NDC first.
We are ready to campaign for Baba Jamal.
Yes, everyone who comes. Even if it was to be any other person who won, definitely we will go in for the person. So it is unity that we want in the party.
Serious.
You are disappointed?
My mood, totally disappointed. I'm totally disappointed because at least they have to give her a chance to come so that she can complete her 3 years. I support the woman, and the woman didn't win, so I won't vote.
But you are an NDC.
Of course.
And Baba Jamal is an NDC.
Yes, and I'm not Baba Jamal, so I don't think I'll vote. I'll vote. I don't think I'll vote for by-election. I don't think.
Well, vote buying took center stage at the just ended NDC parliamentary primary in the Yawase East constituency. From television sets, cash, motorbikes, and rice, delegates got the best treats in exchange of their votes. In this is the phenomenon gradually becoming the norm in Ghana's politics. George Craning reports.
It appears vote buying has come to stay, regardless of any election to be conducted in Ghana. The motive, very simple. You take the freebies, you give your votes to the aspirant. This delegate was confident to share with the news team what he got as a delegate, but was smart not to reveal who he's supporting.
Meti say ne chiche unye bi.
Edai.
Chiche bi wenye bi.
Manya TV. Any
3,000.
3,000.
And so why the man we?
I'm hiding pa.
It's one or two one.
Me ana.
Over two one or two man.
But my vote is my secret. Did I do them hoa? My vote is my secret.
In most cases, delegates take from several camps, so a declared support gives one away. But one of the aspirants, whose camp has been alleged to be giving out TV sets and 3,000 CDs, Baba Jamal, shot the claims down.
The allegations that some monies are also being shared from your camp. I don't know if you've heard this and what monies and television shares.
Have you seen anybody share it?
These allegations, so maybe you want to talk to these allegations.
So if you have not seen it, then don't talk about it.
So we should the president.
This translates into general elections, which has exposed the heavy monetization in Ghana's elections. It waits to be seen whether or not aspirant will be duly voted for, but without vote buying. Time will be the only answer. George Craning, TV3 News, Accra.
Well, the National Democratic Congress has condemned what it describes as widespread bribery during the party's parliamentary primaries in the Ayawaso East constituency. A press statement signed by the General Secretary of the party, Fifi Kwete, noted that National Executive Committee has been drawn to alleged incidents, the attention has been drawn to alleged incidents of inducement and vote buying by some aspirants during the primaries. The party describes the alleged acts as an affront to its core values and principles, as well as the reset agenda it is currently championing. The party has launched investigations into the matter and assured that swift disciplinary action will be taken against any candidate found culpable.
Well, let's have a conversation on this and speak to Dr. Jonathan Asante Otre. He is with the University of Cape Coast, it's a political science University of Cape Coast. Doc, thank you for talking to us tonight. Let me just ask you, vote buying is clearly persists in this country, though there are electoral laws against it. Why would you say it still persists? Is it a lack of enforcement or a policy failure? What is really going wrong?
Well, I would say it is both policy failure and that brazen, bravado people display when it comes to things of that nature. So you do not see proper sanctions leveled against, those who engage in such nefarious acts. Over the period, these things have been an indictment on the integrity of our democracy, and we keep doing it. And day in, day out, they metamorphose into complex entities. I remember in the 90s, they used to talk about Kobe and Bentua and Kako. Then we have graduated to the levels where, some even give dollars and they brag about that. They have migrated from cedis to dollars. And now we are seeing television, we've seen motorbikes and so many other things. And so it is both. You see, it is because we've not been able to sanction things of that nature, and of course, policy failure for that matter. I am even of the view that for the NDC internally at the national level to condemn such a practice, puts them in some kind of a position a little higher than the NPP, because in their case, they were asking what is the evidence. Meanwhile, the evidence is there. But when you go to the officialdom of the previous government, they will deny everything. But the delegate themselves, will speak presently. And so, I don't know, because if bribery is something that, we all frown upon, then it means that you cannot display that openly.
Right.
And I remember the MPP suffered the apathy in Ashanti region, just because some of the constituents were saying that, well, if just a few of them will go for A, B, C, and D, then they should go and engage in the national elections.
Okay.
If you want them to also go and vote in the national elections, then you must equally bring whatever you gave the delegate. Okay. And you know very well that you cannot afford something of that sort.
Doc, so should the NDC then go a step higher and annul this election because of the issues of vote buying coming out and the evidence that is so brazen? And then going forward, what should we also do to reduce the incidence of vote buying in our elections?
For now, I do not know how they'll be able to, do that. But I'm not too sure that once the elections have been declared, there were no electoral malpractices. There is no way the party can be in a position to annul such a result. Probably in the process, they could have said that for A, B, C, and D, they are suspending the elections until later. But that will also mean that, you cannot in any way control the Electoral Commission. They have set 3rd of March for the by-election. So parties don't own the Electoral Commission. They will have to fit into the timetable of the Electoral Commission. So I think that this is a bizarre situation. It gets uglier and uglier by the day. And I just hope that the parties will be able to put in some kind of internal measures to ensure they curb such infractions and excesses. It is getting too much. It is getting out of hand.
Doc, thank you for talking to us. Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere is Executive Director of the Africa Institute for Strategic Studies.
Now, governance expert Professor Bafo Ajimendua has cautioned against the growing influence of vote buying and monetization of internal party elections. Speaking early on key points, Professor Ajimendua warned that if not checked, vote buying will lead to the breakdown of Ghana's democratic principles.
Throughout the 33 years of our republic, and it seems to be increasing, and is being pursued in different ways today, but still very dominant. And the concern has been the extent to which such inducements will influence people to make choices, and whether the choices they make are good for the country. Because if you allow yourself to be influenced by money making your choices, that means the real interests of the state will not be your concern. And that is a major issue that prevails in most democracies. Even recently in the United States, I read that serious concerns are being raised about how the elite IT people are influencing the current government. I mean, if Ed Musk can give $200-300 million to make sure people win, then the whole essence of democratic rule is viciously, violated. So people are not going to elect people based on their competencies and what they think will be good for the country, but on the basis of how much you have to influence them. And I'm just hoping there's a way. We've been talking a lot about state funding, and that is not an easy one because, again, there are so many political entrepreneurs in our society. Once we say state funding, maybe Martin and I would team up and form a party, and with our influence, we get the money from the state for nothing. So I think there must be serious thoughts about how we prevent this.
Let's move away from politics now. The Ministry of Health, as part of stakeholder consultations toward finalizing the free primary health care policy, has engaged the media, civil society organizations in the health sector and development partners. The engagements are aimed at gathering input to guide the effective implementation of the policy, which is expected to roll out in the first week of April 2026.
The free primary health care policy seeks to remove user fees at the point of care and provide essential services with a strong focus on preventive, promotive, and basic curative health care, particularly for vulnerable populations. The initiative is expected to improve financial protection, expand access to healthcare services, and enhance service quality nationwide. The National Health Insurance Scheme will play a key role in the rollout as the policy aligns with government's broader objective of achieving universal health coverage and ensuring equitable access to health care for all citizens. About 100 deprived districts across all 16 regions of the country have been selected to pilot the initiative when rollout begins. Kwabnaminta Akando is the Minister for Health.
You cannot have policies in silos to work perfectly. So especially in the health sector, there's a lot of reforms going on in the health sector. And so the rationale behind it is that, look, the national health insurance as we have it at the moment, every Ghanaian is contributing to the National Health Insurance Fund. And so if every Ghanaian is contributing to the National Health Insurance Fund, then there should be that minimum benefit to every Ghanaian. And therefore, you don't need to necessarily pay anything to access at least primary health care.
The stakeholders' engagement is to ensure that all relevant stakeholders contribute meaningfully to the successful implementation of the policy. Meanwhile, civil society organizations have commended the initiative but raised concerns about aspects of the rollout plan.
This is a good step. It's a reset in the health system, and what we are going to do is to engage our various districts, our various regions to ensure that the system roll out effectively. And so these areas where we believe that should be equitable in terms of the selection. Bigger towns also have slum areas and deprived areas.
Okay, abusua we ne ensema ekoso ewo political highway so NDC Baba Jamal abusua ono ena ne honsem ekoso ewo OSP akachia yere honsem ebrema enye asem ketwa kra unsubscribe on Gossip Politics TV so abusua subscribe, like na share ma afofron so ensa into me and kebi. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so there be any update be ebe drop bi ano wonso wonsa ebe to me akabi medamase.